And hello everybody, we are here with another video, and today we are doing a very interesting tutorial that's going to work off of one of our previous tutorials and working off of our last video. So we're doing a tutorial that works off of a previous tutorial did on static inventories, and we're making the Minecraft building system in Udemy. Udemy? No, Unity. This one right here. Yeah, I'll do a you'll see a card appear with it. But if you guys are here, before we begin, press the subscribe button and like and comment down below what your favorite type of milk is, and I'd love to get 10 likes this video. If we can do that, that'd be awesome. I'd love 10 likes. That's all I'm asking for. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, do it now. We'll wait here for a second until you come back. A lot of this you might hear silence because I'm going to speed through my process and where I need, and I will do, I'll have like a talk over thingy when I need to in the actual making of this. So I'm going to make it, and I'll show you at the end of the video how I made it and how it works. And yeah, we're basically going off of just the inventory system. So yeah, I will see you guys shortly. Oh wait, before we begin, if you haven't gotten your milk yet, go get it. Like, literally, I'm going to be speeding through this, so you have plenty of time to go get milk. Come back and drink some milk, watch me build it over time, see all my failures and my mishaps. And yeah, you have plenty of time to get milk, so go do that. I swear to God, Jerry, if you haven't gotten your milk by the time I come back, I will find you, and I will come to your house, and I will give you milk. Anyway, with that being said, I will see you guys shortly. And then I can mute my mic.
Sink down and emotions feel like I never did before. Live shows and unspoken reels of the movie I ignored. Blue skies on a broken sea and I'm stuck up on the shore. I never thought you could see me, but you did. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called is falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. Colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called is falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah. So easy. We could be the enemy and show them how it's done. Yeah, we could brand a new identity and tear apart the silence, make it grayscale. We love black and white scale, singing saints to the sinners, believe and burn all that's in it. We'll take them out. We'll make them up for it and shout. Dream out the guns, I'll take the wheel. How we feel, we were made for this. Keep your mountains still, make it real, make it dangerous. Been colorblind for all my life, and they kept painting rainbows. I'm colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain. And you've been colorblind for all your life, too scared to even say so. We're colorblind, it's black and white. It seems it will remain so. So what they say we're called colorblind, yeah. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're call it falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're call it falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind, yeah.
Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. Feel my heart, it's beating. Oh, my body's breathing. It's just you and me. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. I'm so caught in this, we're so lost deep in it, can't stop. I'm forever the one you call. Let's free fall. Let's free fall. Let's free Every time we say goodbye, they all see that it's a lie. 'Cause we always give it one last try. Yeah, you've watched me break 1,000 times. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight. giving a warning. I'ma leave without giving a. But every time we say goodbye, we all know that it's a lie. Now I'm all alone, 'cause you never show. You say you will, but then you don't. That's how it goes. Don't wanna know. I'm turning off my mind so I get by. I just wanna be happy, happy tonight.
Alright, hello everybody, we are back, and we are here to do a voiceover because I actually didn't turn on my mic when I was originally doing this. So I'm going to be explaining how the system works and what I did to do it. And yeah, so currently we have just 2 cubes, the items, so basically everything's the same. The only thing I added was a script onto our items that will then control how our items work. And if you... And in a second, I will be getting into the actual script itself. And, yep. So we have our entire script here, which is basically, I was really going to do 2 scripts, the item handler itself and the break handler, but due to complications, I didn't make it into 2 scripts, and I made it so it was easier to make, and I just added it into 1 script. Though there are ways you could most likely do this if you wanted to instead make it into 2 different scripts. That would most likely work out just fine. It's just I didn't, just so that was easier to explain and easier to show for everybody. So apparently I believe I was checking to see if my mic was working in this part, and I thought I had turned it on, but apparently it did not agree with that, and it didn't actually turn on. So I'm currently spending the next few minutes trying to figure out if it's actually on and worrying if it wasn't on. And I believe I'm going to show you guys what I did, so you know it works. So if you can see in the left corner, you see me moving, and basically when I press down the button, it is changing colors. That's how you know when it's breaking. And eventually it'll stop, and you'll see at the +1, it'll add 1 to the top there. Right now we have 3, I believe, and then it'll go up to 4, and that's how we know. There's no breaking, it doesn't destroy the block yet. It's just I want to make it so that it worked, and it works. So that's how we built the system, and I believe I'm just going to continue showing it. It runs every 5 seconds, and it changes color every 0.5 seconds. Or 0.5 seconds. And it works for both, so you can get the 2 items, and this blends wonderfully in with our static inventory. There will be a card in the right hand corner of the screen that will lead you right over to that, so you can go check it out, so you know what we did before this to make it so that we have an inventory system to add this onto. And then here we have our actual script. So we have a couple methods. We have the start method and the on mouse over. Now if you'll see, I ended up changing how the original script works, because originally it was on mouse down. We can't use that because if we do, we can't check for a specific mouse button, and we can't do a couple other things within the mouse. So we had to add that there, otherwise it wouldn't have worked. And basically all our on mouse over currently is doing is it's doing the same thing, except it's getting the input for mouse 1, or mouse 0, which is your left click, and then it's checking if we're breaking or if we're not breaking, and if we aren't, then it's going to start us breaking. And then when we finish breaking, it is going to set break is finished. And I'm showing you, I did make a mistake here. I realized that it wasn't, you could basically mine the block from any distance. A simple fix is to just take the distance, the if statement for distance from the previous video, and basically put it over top of the is breaking and if breaking finished. And then that will set a distance so that it has to be that distance to make it to work. I originally had the break handler, as you see, but I stopped using it, so there wasn't a point to having it in there because, like, I'm not using it. Eventually, I will get rid of some method call and a setter. So as you can see, I set it here. I don't really need that because it doesn't really do anything for me, and it's just kind of a useless piece of code. But everything's the same. We do have the coroutine. A coroutine is basically just, think of it as you have a script that's running code, and this runs alongside the script. The benefit of that is it doesn't stop running the script. It will continue running it as long as it needs to, and then you can use the coroutine and it runs beside it. It's great for timers and stuff like that. It's very helpful when you need to do that. And as you can see, I just removed the 2 points that weren't required. And after that, it's basically our coroutine is how we control our if break finished. And if we finish the break, of course, it's going to add an item to our inventory, which is the previous code. And then we say our break finish is now false, which sounds kind of weird, but it's basically all that's saying is that we had previously finished breaking our block. So now it's setting it up to be prepared to start another break again if we have to. Now this doesn't, the break finish generally, if you decide to destroy the block, you technically don't need to add that in there. It's just kind of a fail-safe in case it doesn't break the block properly and you need to find a way of making so that it can break it. Or if you want to have a single block have multiple resources, you'd want to add that in there and basically have a counter saying how many resources it has in total. We're basically, for the coroutine up there too, we're just adding a break time, which is declared up above. And it's just, I believe I set it to 5. So after 5 seconds, it's going to run the coroutine. Or no, that's not how that works, sorry. It's going to give the coroutine, which is our break block, as you can see, 5 seconds, which is the float time variable we have in it. And basically all our break block coroutine or IEnumerator is doing is setting breaking equals to true. It's going to invoke repeating our color randomizer, and then it's going to wait for how much of our time we set it, and then it's going to tell the rest of the script that we're finished breaking the block and we're no longer breaking it, and then it's going to stop changing color. That's all that part does. And as you can see, our breaking block, if you look at it, we use invokes, which are, think of it as like a coroutine, but you're directly calling it instead of having to do it alongside the script. It kind of works with this. It's like a coroutine, but not quite. It runs it differently. The coroutines are used for specifically timers, stuff like that. Invoking a method it uses only methods. So that's how that works. And basically we do end up canceling it if we stop right clicking or left clicking in this case. It basically just cancels both of the coroutine and the invoke we had done in the break block. And we do that because we don't want, as soon as the player stops clicking, it continues to break the block. That's not how it works in Minecraft, so I didn't want to make that how that works here. And it does the same in break block, where it cancels the invoke as soon as it's done, which just tells it to stop doing it. And then invoke repeating calls break block, and then it sets it to start in 0.5 seconds, and then repeat every 0.5 seconds. That's why we have two 0.5s there. And right now, I'm just telling it to stop the coroutine after break is finished, as you can see in the if there. I do that because you don't have to do that. I do that as kind of, it's another failsafe. So if for some reason the coroutine decides not to stop, that will make sure it always stops before you start a new one. Because imagine having like 3 coroutines running at the same time, which you can do because they don't discriminate on that. It would mess up the entire system. So this just makes sure it doesn't do that. And then you have our breaking block, which it's basically just setting a new color, giving it random values, and then setting its transparency to 1, which is non-transparent, non-see-through or opaque. I think that's the word for it. And then we're getting the game object's render component and setting the material to the new color, And then we set the color timer to 0, which we're not using, so you really don't need to add that. There's no point to it. I'm not using it. And I'm only explaining right now. I was explaining the yield return new wait for seconds, and then I put in time. Basically, it's a yield command. It's how IEnumeraries work. It's why coroutines and invokes are different. This one you can basically say, well, I want to. It basically waits for that time and does everything in the above lines, and then when it's finished, it does everything below it, and then it's done. And that's all it has to do. And it generally will stop because the timer's done. It doesn't continue running. But occasionally that's not how that works. That's why we do the stop coroutine and stuff. Just to make our lives easier. And just to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And it doesn't hurt anything to add it in anyway. And then of course we have to set break finished equals to false. Because then it will be able to rerun this if we click again. Alright. Here I'm not really explaining much. I'm basically this is just the ad. I'm using most of the other stuff. I'm just adding on to it. That's why I want to make these tutorials. A lot of these you can just add stuff onto. And as you saw in the previous part of this, I showed you can find this online. All the stuff you can look up. I looked up a lot of this stuff, and I'll explain this too before we get into what I was saying. The destroy. If you want to make your resource one only, you destroy it, because then nothing else will run on that game object. I don't do that, and I commented out personally, because I don't need to destroy it. We don't need to destroy it because I want to test it to make sure it works. So if you're still testing it, I don't suggest putting it in, but when you're done and you're ready to fully use it as the actual final product of the script and how it works, and you're happy with it, add that in if you want to use it like that. There's other ways of doing it. You can have a resource pool, stuff like that. I suggest you look it up. The Unity forums are a great place to look up stuff like this. It's where I found basically everything here. And as you see, I'm deleting color timer because I don't use it. And it's very helpful for that kind of stuff. So if you're looking, if you don't know how stuff works or you want to look up some information, your best bet might be to either ask another programmer, go into a Discord, or go onto the forums, search up for general people talking about stuff, and you will normally find stuff. Another option you can do is look at the asset store. The asset store has wonderful assets out there for basically anything you could want. There's very little in the asset store that you cannot find. Like, you could find almost anything there. It's wonderful. But I'm trying to show you how to make it yourself so you don't have to rely on the asset store all the time, and that's it. Anyway, I believe that covers everything I want to talk about, and that shows you how the scripts work. If you have a question, please do ask it in the comment below. I'm always welcome to that. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, press the like button. It tells me you liked it. My goal for this episode was 10 likes, and if you want to see more in the future, press the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because that will notify you when I upload next. As well as I want to tell you some important news. I am going to be streaming every day except Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are 2 days I won't be streaming. And I stream from 7:30 to 10 most days. There's only one, I think it's Thursday or Friday that I do 1 to 3. And that is all up on my, because I do it on Twitch, it's all up on my Twitch page. You can see my schedule, my stuff like that. And that is literally it. I want to thank you all for watching again. I hope you liked it. And I will see you all next time. Happy birthday.